Good evening, Mallory.
Good morning, Sam.
Welcome back to the Nobody Leaves podcast, a podcast where I make Mallory watch peak anime, and she makes me, think about pirates a little, or something. I don't know. I've really lost the plot in these last few months.
We like historical stuff. We like
historical. Yeah, all historical. This is now a fake history podcast. Blackbeard fan fiction, fake China fan fiction. That's just all we're doing. This week we're going to be talking about the Apothecary Diaries Season 1. So the first 24 or so episodes. But before we do that, Mallory, you've had a week on this earth. On this bitch of an earth. What's been up with you?
Well, as dark and sad and depressing as this bitch of an earth may be sometimes, there is a light, at the end of the tunnel. And that light is colored similar to the protagonist of this anime in green. That's right, Sam. Green Yuri Volume 3. It came out a long time ago, but I finally picked up the third installment. Yeah, it's good. I mean, will they progress at all in their relationship,
I hope they do, I hope those crazy kids make it. I have a YouTube video to share with you later about
Whoa.
Green Yuri.
Yeah, I know that they're a lot further ahead in it's being published online. It's like a web kind of thing.
Oh, you're the fan.
I think that it is a lot further progressed from what I've seen, but then they get it all together and then they're releasing it in these novel forms, but I've just been reading it as they come out. But yeah, it's slow. It's truly just the dynamic is good. It truly is just one of them likes rock and is edgy and the other is girly and likes girl stuff. That's
gone
basically...
for 15 years. Welcome back, Nana.
There you go.
You ever read Nana? You know what Nana is?
No, I have no idea. I was really just not getting that.
Oh, okay. It is a very, very famous Yuri shoujo manga? Josei manga? Categories are hard. About a girly girl and a punk girl and their relationship. And I think that one is a lot more traditional anime/manga Yuri of she's dating a boy, but her true love should be the punk girl.
Wow.
And they're both named Nana. And I have not. I've tried to read it many times and I've not been able to get into it.
Wait, no, I've watched I've gotten clickbaited with random videos of that before.
I would imagine. It's one of my sister's favorite pieces of media ever.
We're watching that next week, baby. That's amazing.
I've really tried to read it. It's on the Viz Media app, but it's also organized by volume. So you open up a 200-page chapter, and that's pretty intimidating, and I just haven't gotten through it. So one day I will read it to widen my horizons and not just watch and read whatever Shonen Jump puts out. One day.
Definitely. No, that's cool. I'm glad this is adding. See, my reference point is just Princess Bubblegum and Marceline. That's basically the main. That's kind of what I understand about lesbian culture. Basically, is that's kind of the main thing. Is you're either Princess Bubblegum or you're Marceline, and that's kind of how most relationships work. So this is carrying the proud torch. The two genders are back in full force. Punk and girl.
I would, punk and girl. I would not be surprised if that relationship is in some way inspired by Nana. It is it was very popular for a time. It's also one of the classic examples of, and it never finished.
Ooh,
so there is
sad.
that.
Dang. But yeah, no, it's good. But yeah, there's not much to say. I do find myself getting a little bit frustrated with the non-progress. I feel the volume 1 opening was really good because she didn't we were dealing with the discovery because like the title of the story, like the guy she was interested in wasn't a guy. It's like the realization and stuff. But now it's like really simmered down, and like there will be like really good moments, and then it'll be like, okay, and we're just moving on. They went to Fuji Rock though, which was cool because I've been to Fuji Rock, so I was like, wow, it's like me in real life.
Did they also get dehydrated?
No, they didn't get dehydrated and like wasted at like 12 in the afternoon and interviewed by a radio show. That didn't happen, strangely enough. So it's like, I'm wondering like how the Fuji Rock experience differs between different people. It's maybe not faithful to the real experience, because we all know that happens to everyone who goes to Fuji Rock.
Everyone meets Rina Sawayama. Yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah, that was Summer Sonic, to be fair.
You go to too many music festivals. How can I keep
People
track?
are gonna comment and be like, Rina Sawayama never went to Fuji Rock. We're gonna get so many comments. We're gonna get roasted and destroyed. So I had to make that correction. Pushes up classes. Anyway, but yeah, no,
I'm Summer Sonic. That's what you sound like.
That is, and I deserve that. But man, I would love first and progress. That's my only thing. And I know it's out there. All right, because I have to Google. My thing about spoilers for Green Yuri. My thing about like series is like, if they don't kiss, I'm gonna get so mad. Like it's, and that's not even just like queer ships. Like literally, like what was that movie? Girl who jumped off the stairs by Mamoru Hosoda, or not Mamoru Hosoda.
The girl who leapt through time.
Yes.
The girl who jumped off the stairs.
That's what it is. That's what that movie is she just jumps down the stairs a bunch of times. But that movie, like I literally, like we watched it together because you showed it to us, and like literally I had to like Google the characters kissing because it pissed me off so much. I was like, I just need to
Let me set the scene, all right? I have like 7 or 8 people over, and most of them have seen like a Mamoru Hosoda film, or maybe 2, but they haven't seen Girl Who Leapt Through Time. And I own all of them. And it's, Sam, why haven't you shown us this one? This is the best one. All the vibes are immaculate. It's beautifully animated. I love these characters. This romance is simmering. Yes. And then, at like the 97% mark, when the 2 characters that you've been following the whole movie don't kiss, and the credits start rolling, everyone turned to me and said, that was terrible.
Yeah, it was completely our fault, too, because you fully warned us. You were like, I don't know if you guys are gonna like this one, and we're like, no, come on, Sam, we've seen all the others. Like,
I've grown to like the Girl Who Leapt Through Time's ending, because it is just kind of unexpected and like melancholy in a good way that I think is important to the movie's themes. But boy, is it unsatisfying on first watch when it's just like, all right,
I think they
can't be together, I guess.
I think going in with the expectation of like, this is like knowing how it ends, like I feel like I could probably like enjoy it a lot more. But I do think like that's why I like spoilers. I was like, spoilers for Green Yuri if you care about that. I'm like, I don't care about spoiling Girl Who Leapt Through Time. Like this is a PSA. Like no, don't get your hopes up because they will be dashed. But yeah.
So was that what you determined? Was that it's going to be a real slow simmer the whole time?
I don't know. I feel like it could suddenly escalate. They're in this weird spot where their relationship is like clearly like reciprocal. There's clearly like they kind of know that it's like different to other people. They're like calling each other all the time, that kind of thing. But then they're also like they haven't like said certain things out loud of like what are we, and like all this kind of stuff that like it feels like that needs to, and like they don't necessarily have to like label themselves or whatever, like that doesn't have to be part of the story, but it feels like it matters for these characters, and it's kind of drifted a lot into focusing on the character arc of like Mitsuki, who's the punk one, like kind of just embracing her identity more, and like getting into like actually like making music and stuff, because that's clearly going to be like a plot line or whatever. But I'm like, Yeah, cool. Like, good for you, girl. I guess.
But
Yeah,
but
maybe
are
I'm not.
y'all dating or?
Yeah, I just care about the kissing because I'm really stupid and shallow. So
I
that's
see.
like, yeah. That's basically what I've been doing this week is this slow simmer of a romance I've been engaging with. How about your week, Sam? What have you been getting into?
Well, I can't really describe what I've been watching as a slow simmer. Uh, in only like 3 hours of runtime, I have seen every episode of Smiling Friends for the first time, and oh boy, it has like taken over my brain. It is one of those shows where the quotes just like assault you, and you just suddenly you're that guy going like, "Oh, wubba lubba dub dub." Fantastic show. First of all, just let me get that out of the way. Smiling Friends, really good. Often disgusting in ways that make me uncomfortable, but very, very funny. Um,
Yeah.
I the weirdo side characters I just think about randomly, like every day now. Like I think about the noodly guy who goes like "Blah, blah, blah, blah," and gets punched in the throat in hell. I think about the guy who is making his own mixtape and who is clearly like strung out on drugs, and it's just like, get out me head, get out of me freaking head, man. Like that guy is like my favorite person ever. I have
DJ
like
Spitz.
ridden on a bus with that guy before.
He's hugely popular. He like now that you've seen all 3 seasons, I can say like in season 2 where it like seemed like he almost died because he got impaled on his own helicopter blade.
Yes.
Like there was fan outroar, and then when he like reappeared in season 3, it was like people were like, "Yes, like he's back."
Get out me freaking
yeah.
head guy. I love Get Out Me
Yeah.
freaking head guy, Mallory. I love him.
Really good.
I like Mr. Frog. I like Jimble, the disgusting president. That one's a little tough, but
He was
good
tough
moments.
for me.
A little
Of
tough.
the episodes, there are like episodes that I will like revisit continuously, and there are episodes where I'm like, I appreciate the comedy and artistry, and I don't need to see it again.
Well, you
yeah.
mentioned the some of the episodes being really scary a few weeks ago when we were talking about Smiling Friends, I think on this podcast. And I
was
got to
talking
the
about-
Halloween episode.
Yeah, I was talking about the most recent Halloween episode in particular.
That's pretty tough at moments. There's some imagery in there that's very like, it reminds me of Akira when Akira gets really like scary and dark for a bit. Like Charlie like melting and not being able to like maintain
That's the
a
part
form.
I hate.
little
That
tough.
yeah, that is the real tough part. I don't think I would go back to the like that episode either because of that one. But
And
I
the
mean, I
boss going
appreciate it.
through like an Ari Aster film briefly. Like it's fun.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, awesome show. Do you have? Yeah, go.
I just want to say one more thing about Smiling Friends. The joke of we're gonna like hyper animate this for a second kind of never gets old, right? Like there's a moment, I think it's like 2 or 3 episodes back now, where they're going camping, or they're going to like a cabin in the woods, and the boss is talking to Pim and is like, yeah, hey Pim, you like Super Monkey Ball? I got Super Monkey Ball on GameCube. And then they do the most like hyper realistic handshake, and it's like, why was that in there? Like it's suddenly rotoscoped or just like really well tracked, and it's just there for like 2 seconds, and you're like, what? It kind of breaks my brain a little bit when they do stuff like that.
Yeah, no, it's really good. It's very much like stretching the medium, and I think it's so enjoyable that like like randomly having something in claymation isn't even like a one-off. Like there's so many different instances of like stop motion animation and like different versions, like random 3D
Or like
characters.
PS2 characters wandering around.
Yeah,
Or
like
just humans,
polygon
like
characters. Yeah, and they're just people like there was a really good
the guy they
was
fire,
rewatching-
who's the 5th smiling friend.
yeah.
And it's like, if
That was-
you get rid of Jerry, I'm leaving too. Like,
No, definitely. I was rewatching like an episode where like I think I
Tyler.
completely missed. Yeah, Tyler. Yeah, I can't believe they got rid of Tyler. No, there was an episode. I think I like missed this joke, but it's like they go down in the basement. It's the health inspector or the building inspector episode in the new season, and they go down in the basement, and it like pans across all the like scary weird things in the basement, and there's like a little like an old man just going like, "Whoa," and he's like it's a panning shot. And it ends. He's like at the farthest edge, so he's really barely in frame, and he's like really shaded. Like I did not notice him at all, and like on rewatching it recently, I was like, oh wow, like I don't know, it's good. Like it's no secret I'm a fan of mixed media stuff. Like Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. I feel like this scratches that same itch where I'm like, just put everything in it. It's really good.
100%. And I know that you're a big fan of it because you believe in the flat Earth, as we both do. As this podcast is a flat Earth podcast, obviously.
I'm a
they
fan
even
of
included
it.
the dome, Mallory.
I'm a fan of it because of David Firth being the guy. He's like the British. He voices Shrimp, and also he voices that conspiracy theorist in that like episode. He's like, yeah, you really think like I don't know. All his characters are so funny.
Yeah, I don't
really enjoy it.
Like. I know there's tons of YouTubers in it, and the only ones I'm really familiar with are, I mean, I recognize Doug Walker, but then also the folks from Red Letter Media. But I know that like it seems like every episode, like some of the voices are done by like famous YouTube animator or Newgrounds folks that I just don't know. But I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Like it's a subsection of the internet that I am not personally that familiar with, but I still kind of root for. I'm like, yeah, you guys do it.
No, definitely. It is really cool like seeing all these like names that I feel like I've weirdly like grown up with, even though they're not like they weren't in any kind of traditional media, like, and they, you know, many of them have their own careers doing whatever else, but like we'll all like hop on for like a episode or like a minor voice bit for a character in Smiling Friends. Yeah, no, it's really good. But it is also funny like how many of the lines are truly just like the two creators. Like 99% of the voices are just the two people making the show, like doing like you know, which is also very funny. I gotta tell you, my most recent favorite episode, I think this might be one of my like all time classics of Smiling Fred, is like the most recent one with the Little
the Smurf one, yes,
parody. Yeah, just the being cornered by the guys, like he goes on his crystal ball and he pulls up, he's like, now this is the Norwood scale. Just like it's
that is such a like manosphere, like guys on the internet going into psychosis because they're too obsessed with their looks or their inability to get women or whatever. Like I've heard that term before, and it was like a dagger to like my brain. Like, no, don't tell normal people about how stupid the internet gets.
No, absolutely. It's like any community that is like formed around like any insecurity. Like there are trans versions of that. Like there are so many like, you know, like I feel like a lot of the incel stuff is like your jaw's forever gonna be like this or whatever. Or,
I thought they were gonna start talking about mewing or something, and I'm like, this is going too far. You can't put this on a TV show.
But I love it. To me, it's like I love that is on a TV show because it's such a like universally felt experience. I think of like people of our generation. Like we've known people like that are just like just gonna corner you and be like, this is my whole thing. It's like this one insecurity, and it's like I don't know, very very.
They also capture
satisfying.
that like East Coast burnout vibe like so well. Like I know there's a bunch of Pennsylvania references, which is really funny. Like they go to Wawa and stuff.
Yeah,
but just like dudes at parties vaping and being really mean is like a guy, and in this show it's just like an alien that's made out of like plastic, but it's still it resonates, and like I've met these people who are like weirdly aggro and aggressive for no reason, but somehow they're at this party I'm at, and that's a special kind of anxiety that they really mined for some good comedy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Or like the the dude who's like I mean Charlie, of course, I think like the heart of the show. Like
Charlie's like the heart of gold version of that.
His like shrimp episode stuff is so good to me, of like establishing that character of like no, bro, like, the thing you're gonna need to do is that, and, like, completely being like, these are all the steps that you're gonna need to take, like, to, like, get in shape or whatever and be an alpha male.
Guy who's kind of a loser giving advice on how to not be a loser.
Totally, like, he's, like, that exact vibe of, like, he's very confident and, like, assured of himself, but is not necessarily always, like, living up to that in reality.
Right.
Yeah, no, good stuff.
He doesn't have to say I've watched a video on this for you to know that he's watched a video on it.
Yeah, and that's where that confidence is coming from. This is so funny because I was absolutely gonna pitch all the. I was kind of waiting for more. Yeah, I was kind of waiting for more of it to come out because it's so like short, like it goes by in an instant. And it's so like kind of like Moorish, like it's
right.
You're getting a lot of jokes and bang for your buck that like after you finish an episode, you just want to see the next one. That I think that I was like I feel like we need a little bit more show before we pitch it, but we're basically doing the episode of it now. I mean, I'm sure we could talk. I'm sure we could talk about it for a whole other podcast in the future. But that's not what today's episode is about, Sam.
It's true. Today's episode is about China, but not China. It's about an apothecary pretending to be not smart and not able to read. It's about MaoMao. It's about Jinchi. Sam pitched a romance? Oh boy, I did.
Let's not get apothecaried away.
Let's not get apothecary ahead of ourselves. You see, that's how bad yours sound, all right? They don't make any sense. Everybody hates you. What's wrong with your face? Dude, what's wrong with your transitions? Aren't you, like, weird? You're, like, weirdly old.
I mean, I never really thought about being old before.
I don't think I'm that old. I like that canonically they're all, like...
Where's your kids, man?
Yeah, they're, like, 30 or 40s. I didn't realize that they had, like, canonical ages.
It's really funny.
Anyway... This isn't an episode about smiling friends. It's an episode about Apothecary Diaries, my new obsession, but also my old obsession because I watched it all like a month and a half ago. So I'd rather hear what you think about it so I can remember what happened in it.
Well, Apothecary Diaries, I think it was a sweet, good show. I think we've kind of talked about it a little bit off air because it's a longer series, so this episode was like a little bit longer in the making in terms of like me also needing to get through it. I think I'm still kind of not fully drilled into what you find so appealing about it, so that's what I'm excited to talk about with you throughout this podcast. But yeah, like in terms of like my reaction to it, I'm like, yeah, you know, it's peaceful, it's vibes, it's a good vibe. The romance, like I initially was like, I don't know about this one, but then you know, like by episode 20-ish, I'm like, they better get together because as I established earlier in our intro, you know, you get your two romantic flames, and I need the payoff. They gotta kiss, okay? That's all I care about. I just need to see
I figured I could reel you in with a little bit of romance bait.
Definitely, I was fully baited. And Jinchi. Fully baited, fully hooked in by the end of it. The little like Sherlock Holmes, like I'm very fond of like mystery stuff broadly. Mm-hmm. So the little mysteries in like each episode like definitely kept me entertained and like learning about different stuff. I wish that I felt like I knew more about Chinese history after watching it because I don't know anything about Chinese history. But
it's not China. It's just heavily influenced by Chinese history.
Just a very Chinese vibes. But yeah, I mean, like overall, I think it's a nice show with good characters and a good protagonist. That's my review.
Mallory, I have a reveal for you. I have no idea why I am so fond of this show. We talked about months ago when we watched Skip and Loafer that I am not a slice of life guy. Every once in a while, like an episodic piece of media will like grab me and I'll really enjoy it. Yokohama Kadashi Kiko. Skip and Loafer, I really enjoyed. Sometimes I can vibe with a show, but it needs like a certain amount of window dressing and at least some sort of plot to kind of drag it along. Like I can't deal with just like high school drama for the sake of it anymore. I just can't do it. It's never vibed with me. Like, I don't get enough out of it, like of the, what's going to happen with the school festival and this and that. I need, like, something more to latch on to.
Yeah.
But if you make it a seaside apocalyptic show, Yokohama Kashikiko, or if you make it, like, slightly a palace intrigue show, then I'm there for it. And it's just something about the vibe of this show. I don't even like the mysteries that much. It's like, oh, it was fish allergies. Like, okay, like that's not. It's enough to get me through episode to episode, but it's not like the craziest reveals. And like a lot of times, I feel like you can kind of pick up on what's happening before the characters do, or before MaoMao explains it. And the fun is more in the interaction between MaoMao and Jinshi and the politics of the palace or what have you. But there's just something about how consistent the show is, how kind of competently made it is, and a little bit how samey it is episode to episode that I found comforting. I find this a very like comforting watch.
What are my thoughts on it? Like, I guess if I'm talking negatives or like reasons why I don't know if I would have necessarily like watched through the whole show if like it wasn't a pitch for this podcast. I will say the art style doesn't like exactly
jump out at you,
grab me. Like, I think that there are like there's definitely like the high budget scenes, and there's definitely a lot of thought put into like I like a lot of the looks, like the makeup, like that kind of stuff, the color coding and stuff. But at the same time, it's not like none of them are like, they're like,
there's not a lot of dynamic action in the show for sure. Yeah. Even when a child's trying to stab like an evil courtesan buyer, like it's like, oh, this is kind of, it's a lot of talking. It's a very talky show.
Yeah.
It's conversation is the drama, conversation is the action. But there's a thin layer of tension kind of at the bottom of everything that I kind of want to get into at some point in this conversation.
Definitely. Yeah, I guess I just, in terms of the art style, like, I think that I have nothing against, like, like, it's a little bit of a still show. It's, like, 26 episodes. It's, I don't know what the budget is, but I assume it's, like, a little bit, it's not, this isn't, like, crazy all over the place animated type of show.
It's like, not Frieren, right? Like, Frieren's what this show is commonly compared to, and they're of similar length, and they came out around the same time. And I think in my memory of it being like on the outside looking in was people watching Apothecary Diaries week to week were like, this is actually better than Frieren, and you should check this out. But then if you're from the outside looking in, you're like, aren't they just talking and like wearing pretty robes? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, no, it's definitely like that kind of, there's that pacing, but I think also just like the way it's drawn, just like, I like a lot of the chibi scenes are good. I like, but I think the just like default art style sometimes I'm kind of like, But to get this out of the way, because I think there's not much to say about this. Just the the way they draw like oversized boobs really really annoyed me, because just it's like I don't.
It's more generic anime than I usually go for or watch, I would say.
Yeah, it's weird. It feels kind of out of place because it doesn't really feel like a super fan servicey anime, but it's also just like, to me it's like it's just like they're just like badly drawn, you know what I mean? Like they are just like 14-year-olds like big circle, like let me just like
bigger circle, right?
Yeah, like
but yeah.
Yeah, like
I think especially with MaoMao's sisters, like they feel like very tropey, generic anime characters for the most part. The one sister who has kind of the relationship with MaoMao's mother and Laken is like a little bit more deep, but then the two older ones are just like there's nothing there.
Yeah, no, definitely. But I don't know if I'm getting just desensitized to anime. But I feel like all the like little bathtub scenes with like MaoMao where they're getting washed, like I didn't even get fan service vibes from them, but I'm like, that's probably what people, I couldn't tell anymore.
I don't think they are going for that with this show. And some of it
they're also
is plot
sisters.
related, like not even it is, but like not even making a joke here. Like it is a plot point, like the appearances of many of these women in relationship to the emperor or in relationship to their careers, right?
Right.
And I think that's all handled with a surprising amount of like reverence and like respect. I think the only time it gets a little goofy is with Lee Haku, the like puppy dog soldier guy who's trying to marry one of MaoMao's sisters, adopted sisters, whatever you want to call them. Like that's the only time it feels really like, oh gosh, like pretty lady. Like for the most part, it's like these are courtesans. This is what that job is. This is some of the dark parts of that job and how it like all the pressures of trying to please the emperor or trying to please customers, and how there's moments of extreme darkness in a show that I think generally is even keel, not that dramatic, not that intense, and there's just little snippets of like the realities of this world, and then those are reflective of the realities of Imperial China, what have you, like what the setting is based on, right?
Yeah. No, totally. And like even the Lee Haku stuff didn't bother me that much because it's like it feels appropriately framed. Like you know, MaoMao is constantly referring to him as a pathetic dog, and basically like him even like meeting this person that he falls in love with is like orchestrated by her so that she can like go home and visit her like, you know, sick mother and like her you know, grandfather and stuff like that. Like it's
her adopted father. Lumen.
But like her, you know, I that is something I like. Like if we're talking positives of the series, I feel like I did not go into this series expecting it to be like very pro sex worker. Like here's like a really nuanced depiction of what's going on here, and it's like, you know, they'll be kind of like wow, you know, to like MaoMao specifically. But then like when it comes to their relationships with men and how they handle them, it's like it's always like framed, I feel like, with like this is gravely serious, and then like you might see them like being like but it's like Mama's like they need to put on a good performance so that they don't like starve to death or whatever,
right?
You know, like
there's like a savviness with characters. In particular, I really like Gyokyo, who is the one of the 4 candidates to be empress, who kind of adopts MaoMao into her court, into her as her ladies in waiting. Like she's the one with the daughter who MaoMao saves in the beginning from the white powder. She is like she puts on the airs of being kind of like, I don't want to say ditzy, but like light and airy and fun.
Yeah.
But she's really like quietly cunning in terms of how she like maneuvers MaoMao and maneuvers Jinshi and the Emperor. And there's just little hints here and there that she's like way more adept at navigating like palace policies and politics in a way that I was constantly surprised by that character, because her design is asset first, I suppose.
Asset first design. Yeah, that's the thing, like where sometimes I'm like I don't know if the visuals just specifically around like big bazungas, I feel like they're not necessarily like at one with the story, but that just to me also feels like, oh, is this just kind of like a little cheaply made or something? Like that's like the feeling I have. It's less like, oh my god, they're being so disrespectful to women, and it's more just like, oh, I wish they had like a cooler like way of drawing this, or it looked more like what real life humans look like, you know what I mean?
Especially
everything
when
else
they
about
put
them is
so
real
much attention to other parts of it, like the costuming. I think they put a good amount of attention to. Sometimes the robes feel like generic robes or whatever, but like the jewelry, the hairpins, the makeup, like things like that, there is more emphasis on, and a lot of times it's because they are plot related in some ways, like with the hairpin favor system or what have you. And MaoMao and her makeup. That was a detail. What did you were you surprised by that with the freckles that she puts them on every day?
that kind of caught me off guard, and then yeah, I thought it was interesting. Like I was a little I was a little like, where are we going with this? And then like, yeah, she just like puts it like really frankly of like, yeah, like I need to I need to look not desirable because I'm in danger. Like that's like my life basically.
Anytime
yeah.
MaoMao like drops her own performance and kind of just like tells Jinshi like what it is and like how things are, those are moments for me that like really jump out as being like more dramatic or more interesting in a show that is mostly like more of the same throughout. Like there's just little moments where it's like, oh, the character Jinshi is getting a little bit more insight into who MaoMao is as a person, as opposed to as like an interesting toy or whatever. Like they use a lot of metaphors with him and her in terms of like buying her or her being like a pet to him or a toy. And any time that she's like really real because it's something that she's actually cares about or that she has it's one of those shows where it's like if MaoMao was the emperor, everything would be fixed, but you can't. She knows that's not possible, and even she might underestimate her own ability to influence. But you can feel that, like, oh, I just wish that like things could be better, and maybe you can feel the impact that these characters are having on the world as it progresses in like little ways, like the ways that she improves the lives of like the service women or like the ladies in waiting or even the like head concubines. Like it's satisfying in a quiet, subtle kind of way.
Yeah, no, I really love it. Like speaking of the like kind of class differences thing, because that's a thing that it's interesting because I feel like our media in general and a lot of like people who are like creating art are like very preoccupied with right now, I guess is fair to say, is like class struggles and like, you know, there's just so many shows I feel like it's like Arcane, the Undercity and the Overcity, and like that's like every show now. And I think that it's handled, I like the way that it is handled in this series like quite a bit, where it's not like there's not going to be a revolution in Apothecary Diaries. I would be very surprised if they overthrow imperialist China, even if it's like not sticking to like real history. I don't know that they're necessarily going to be like, and then MaoMao like like brings forth democracy. Like that's
right.
Not part of it. But I do think like it is handled in a way. I think like speaking about the protagonist MaoMao, like obviously like is a very, very strong, like well thought out character. And I think that like her attitude of basically like not wanting to be coddled or like pitied on or whatever, and her like just like acceptance of like, yep, this is how things are, is like a very like you know, like she's not like dramatically monologuing, but like women are so looked at, like the peasants are not respected. Like she's
just doing like, the work to like make things a little better, and sometimes that's like a hand warmer. It's the character of MaoMao is like one of my is probably easily my favorite part of the show, because it isn't what you're saying. It's not like the generic like this character suddenly was the princess and then has to redefine the entire kingdom. It's like, no, she is of a certain caste, of a certain class, what have you, and that doesn't feel like it's going to change, or if it does change, it's going to be in like stops and starts. Like it's going to be slowly that she becomes more influential, and you can feel her influence growing throughout the show, but it feels like it's growing in a really realistic way. And there are setbacks that I find both really interesting and also like frustrating in a good way, where you want her to succeed, you want her to have influence, but the fact that she has the deck stacked against her, but she's also not like a downtrodden like typical protagonist. It's not like I started as a level 1 crook and I'm going to become a level 100 boss or whatever. Like it doesn't have that like isekai anime like light novel, for lack of a better thing to pick on, like trait to it. It just feels like a well thought out perspective to follow in a world that is somewhat unchanging and is somewhat resistant to change, but also not, that's still not the whole thing about it, right? It's not, every person in higher society in this world isn't like crazy evil or jealous or whatever, and every person in lower society isn't a hero. It's just like, this is how the world is, and we're gonna make like little gains throughout. And I find that to be very fun and satisfying.
Yeah, definitely. And it's like, I think the detail, like the reason why I even like brought up like with the whole caste system, because like talking about like the sex workers thing with the concubines, because it's very interesting. It's explored in a lot of depth, and but like one of the kind of like minor details that it's not explicitly put this way. It's kind of treated as like a comedy bit, you know. But it's like a consistent like repeated through line that like MaoMao explains like these like crazy sex techniques that she's learned from like being raised in like basically a brothel, or like her like older prostitute sisters, and she's like teaching the like these concubines and like these like the closest to princesses that you're gonna get in like this world, like these like, you know, high up like you know,
highest candidates for the empress.
Yes, absolutely. And she's teaching them like these techniques, so like this is how you like use your assets and all this kind of stuff.
Right.
Like even like makeup techniques and stuff like that. And it's like it's played as a joke most of the time, but I do think it's like, it had me thinking like, it's crazy, like that like trickle up culture thing, you know, like the that like it gets talked about in like our society nowadays as well, but like how
elaborate on that.
These, I mean, well, yeah, exactly. Like the people talk about like languages and phrases all the time, like a lot of words from like the African American community or like queer community end up like becoming meme words that are used by like kids that like they start there and then they like come up, or like art forms, you know, like jazz, hip hop, like all those kinds of things, or like they start with like marginalized communities and then they are like expanded out to like they become the pop culture that like they were born, like this is the sinners conversation all over again, but it's like they were born specifically because of the oppression caused by these certain people, and now those people are like all about that art and obsessed with it. And it's like in this show you're like seeing the like, even in like tiny little subtle ways, how like the culture and all the techniques like developed by these like sorry, I'm calling them prostitute. What's the word?
So courtesans are like who are in the palace.
Not prostitute. Yeah.
And I think MaoMao's sisters are considered courtesans, but then there's, I'm trying to remember the term as well, but like there's essentially like the less going for the empire focused courtesans, which is the where more brothel-esque scenarios where MaoMao was like raised in. And yeah, she's bringing those techniques of like people who do this for profit to the palace where people are more doing it for like status, right? Like I think a lot more of the women in the protected palace are either like daughters of merchants or daughters of like politicians and whatnot, who are, and Gyokyo is one of those who are like brought in to try and like sway influence over the emperor and like, you know, become the empress or what have you, or have his children. And I like the show is like, this is just how it is, and it's fucked up, but like we're just gonna treat like this is the plot and that's just what it is. And but it's not uncritical of that, it's just not unrealistic in terms of how much that's gonna change. Like it's like, you're not gonna kill the Emperor MaoMao with poison. And maybe you shouldn't even, because he seems like a okay guy in a really bad system that favors him.
Less pedophilic than...
He's less of a pedophile than his father, and so we're all okay with the current emperor.
Yeah, it's like the Prince William versus Prince, like, Crypt Keeper Charles, like, thing where you're just like, you know, he's like, this emperor, like, didn't even go to Epstein's
he's still a guy who benefits from like an evil system or like an unbalanced system, but he doesn't seem to be overly cruel or overly exploitative within that system. I mean, removing the fact that he, lives in a palace with hundreds of women whose like only role is to like procreate with him. It's a little skeevy, but the show does a good job of keeping it realistic without getting too like down and dirty with the details or what have you.
Yeah, because it's like it's like when you're in a position like that and like there are these certain traditions and expectations, like it like I'm not trying to cut the emperor too much slack, because like of the people shown in the show, and he's also like we don't see a lot of him in the show,
right,
but, like,
he's kept very enigmatic, which is I think a cool choice, because if he was like a major character, it'd be like, I was thinking about this morning before we started recording, if he was like in the show often, the solution to every problem would be like, MaoMao, you've befriended the emperor, go to the emperor and that will solve your problems. Like, but it can't be like that, or else it would kind of break how the show works.
Yeah. It's like it's keeping him as untouchable as he would likely be to someone in MaoMao's position. But yeah, it's like of the characters that we see in the show, like he probably has the most power to like actually change anything. Like it's like on one hand, it's like even if he doesn't necessarily believe in like keeping concubines or whatever, like, I mean, he does sleep with them, so he clearly does enjoy it. But it's like, even if he's like a feminist emperor or whatever, it's like, well, you'll be seen as weak if you like don't like have a bunch of beautiful women surrounding you. But then you can also make the argument of like the emperor would be the ones that say like, I don't need this system. Like I'm gonna like marry a woman.
But there is
that
like
isn't
there's little hints at like there being powers within the empire that he doesn't fully control, like the appointed fourth main concubine, courtesan, concubine and courtesan. That's the terms I was looking for. So like the fourth empress candidate who is appointed is only appointed because she's the daughter of his like most powerful rival or merchant or what have you. And they go into that a lot more in the second season. Like that character is clearly important. I think you haven't seen that character a lot, but she's important.
The character's the most like character like that's super designed, like just walks in and we have a lot of lingering shots on her giving us nothing. It's like
nothing or knowing looks. Yeah, it's a lot of like
and
what's
we're
she
like
thinking about.
I'm like, we are way too close to the end of the season for us to be getting into her.
I love in the second opening, like the look she gives towards the camera, and you're just like, what are you on about? Like, what's your deal?
What is your thing? Yeah, no, it's crazy. Yeah, like she's the only one in the scene that's not doing like goofy little like reactions to like MaoMao teaching them about sex
MaoMao showing off the
stuff like that.
Kama Sutra or whatever.
Yeah, I will say that was also one of my least favorite. But like even that is like handled like we have we have the young child, like the 8-year-old's wife or concubine of the emperor, that he's like, I'm not able to make this one not a concubine because unfortunately my father was a pedophile or was so in love with his like one of his former concubines or wives that he was like, I have to keep this child of hers. Like
it's complicated.
I was not crazy about the fact that she has to be in the room for MaoMao teaching them sex techniques or whatever, but I was like, I don't know. I think there's
a lot of moments of I don't love this, but I understand why it's happening in the world and the world it's set up.
Like that's the thing, and it doesn't feel like, I don't know. I know there's some monsters out there that are gonna be.
It does not feel like fetishized
they're gonna love
or like
that
fan service or something. Like it doesn't like the worst parts of anime and manga culture or what have you.
Totally, yeah. No, it's like it also doesn't feel like it's sanitizing the empire too much. I don't know. Like I feel like I'd have to talk to someone who I have a student who like watches this show. Like I drew her like a MaoMao birthday card like a year ago, I think. So I'd love to get the opinion of someone who's not like just fully like
Who's not an adult and is like, oh, this is so horrible.
Yeah.
Like I can't get around like how terrible this situation is for this person.
Yeah, like are they like how they're reading it? But I do think it is just like a real strength of the writing that it's like I feel like everything is just like framed appropriately, and we're not like lingering on things that are like so annoying and tropey and like fetishized. It's like it's just this is how it is, and like we understand why this bad situation is occurring basically.
Right. That's kind of like I mean that's put better than I was trying to say earlier, but like that's what I like about the show is like there's very few big dramatic moments, and the ones that there are carry a lot of weight because of how few and far between they are. But every episode, I get a little bit more information about this world, about palace politics or what have you, and I'm just like a little bit more intrigued. I'm like, oh, that's a screwed up situation, but like, how does that work, or like, what happens there? And generally, I'm rewarded by the show with complexity, understanding, sympathy, and just like interesting character dynamics that I wouldn't expect.
Totally. The thing that I'm most interested to see what happens next is with our main couple, as I alluded to earlier.
It's Jinchi corner. Let's do it.
Yeah, I will say my favorite character easily was Jinchi. Extremely relatable. Like for one, he's extremely needy and insecure. People don't know whether or not he has a penis. He's very elegant and beautiful. Extremely
the most attractive
I felt
person in the room. Yeah.
The most that part I also relate to.
Absolutely.
I don't know. It was like I was with him. I liked his character. And yeah, it was like interesting the deeper it got. I think I was like expecting a little bit more like of explicit like laying out like him to like be in a room with oh my god, what's his name? His best friend.
The best character ever, Gao Shun.
You want
to talk about
like,
Gao
his
Shun?
stable, his stable, reliable like a friend that every diva needs. Yeah, he was just like I almost expected him to have a moment of like what am I gonna do about my feelings for MaoMao? It's a really difficult situation. But it's like no, you just instead of him like having a discussion and then being like maybe you should try approaching her in this way, it's like no, he just does it. Like he just does his best version of his plan or whatever, which is like
right.
Trying to, I guess, get her to show affection and like trying to taking all these steps to be like, I don't want her to be manipulated to love. I want her to love me for me, and then similarly with MaoMao, like I kind of expect like she just has like a bunch of comments about his appearance, and then you're like, it seems like she hates him, but like clearly they're framed as like the central couple of the series. So like, are we gonna have the point where she like melts or something, and like the only scene of her having any reaction is like the end of and it was a payoff to me, is like the end of the show when he like picks her up from dancing. She has like one frame of her eyes like widening more than usual and being surprised.
That's all
I'm like,
you get.
This is literally the only time MaoMao has reacted to him with anything other than like disgust or contempt or condescension. I'm like, that's good. I don't know. It's not they don't hold your hand with it. Like you really gotta like read between the lines of the characters, I feel like, to like understand the direction.
There's a couple other fun moments, I think. I really like when they make him up to look more like a commoner, like they make the disguise. Like she's needling him constantly in that scenario, and he's kind of needling her back, and it's a very like it's very like fringe driven in a way that I think is fun. Like they're great as friends, and they're clearly being set up to become more than friends. And
right.
his infatuation with her, it's like his weak spot where he doesn't realize how obvious he is, and like everyone around him is like knowing look. Like his main attendants, all Gao Shun and then the older lady who is also his attendant are both just like, uh-huh. And I think it starts from a shallow place of like MaoMao is the only person who doesn't fawn over him when he walks into a room, and it grows into him like actually appreciating her for her intellect in terms of like those little insights she gives to like society and culture. Like they have so many different conversations that are like, yeah, I was kidnapped. Yeah, it's wrong that the palace just buys people, whether they're like correct slaves, which I don't even want to get into that, or like people who are kidnapped off the street and pretended to be slaves. All that is like sticky, and MaoMao is very quiet and doesn't want to like give that information out like freely. But every time it does come out, he seems to take it really deeply to heart, and he is growing as a person of influence who may want to like see bigger changes that MaoMao is not able to make on her own.
Definitely. Yeah, no, it's very curious. And then like MaoMao's side of it is also just so interesting, where she just has this like interesting trait of like being like, oh yeah, like I'm not worthy of like any, like she's just not opened herself to the possibility that this could be a thing at all, to the detriment of her ability to like social grow, like the court lady exam or whatever that she just doesn't even bother studying for is like, what's the point? Like just like completely like checked out from the idea of like that she could like grow above her station, because she's like, why would I get to be an apothecary, that's like my dream, even though like Jinxi's clearly like pushing her in that direction, and then just like also not, I guess, understanding her own appeal or the idea that she could be attractive, I feel like, is her other,
that's a whole nother
spot.
layer to it.
Yeah, like it's just like, you know, he's not interested in me, he's just like bullying me or something like that, I feel like is her initial reaction. So it's just good. I don't know, I like it. I relate to Jinxi a lot as well, because I you know, as attractive as I am, to me I feel like it comes up more when I feel like I'm usually pretty good at getting a room to laugh, and I feel like there will be those few people that like don't laugh, and then I'm just like, everything is about you now. Like,
right.
I have a couple close friends that are just that I'm like, you're making me work for this. I'm all like, you know, so I could understand that.
Well, so like, before we get away from it, like other than Gao Shun, MaoMao is my favorite character. I do like MaoMao. I think is the reason to watch the show, and
definitely.
That flaw you're talking about to me is the most fascinating part of her character. It feels like she holds herself back, like she's overly cautious for good reason, because quietly in the background people are getting like murdered for minor offenses all the time. And so it's like, I don't blame her from that perspective, but she goes so far in the other direction of like, I am not worthy, I won't give my opinion, everything's conjecture. Like she's overly cautious and overly worried to the point where she doesn't realize how much influence she has. Even by the end of season 1, where she seems to have a lot of influence, she is like, no one's going to listen to me. No one should listen to me. I am of lowly birth. Like, please ignore me. And it almost gets him killed. It indirectly gets Li Hua's first child killed in the pilot, because by her going in these indirect methods, like instead of telling, despite having the knowledge of the truth, her unwillingness, her stubbornness, and not like telling things as it is, while justified, and especially in that scenario where she had no power because she was a service person, it has consequences in the sense that like people sometimes die, or like things don't get caught, or the whole scenario with the spy who has the resurrection drug, like maybe she could have been found before she like fled, if MaoMao was willing to give her opinion a little bit more. It was willing to be like, allow herself to be wrong. Like everything she does is like, I will only tell how things are if I'm absolutely sure that's the scenario.
Yeah, no, it's like it's that classic thing of like sometimes not taking any risks is more of a risk than
Yes.
like the small risks that you would have to take to like change the situation. And like Mao's a kind of character that doesn't really seem to see that a lot of the times. Like is just like really like, okay, just gotta keep my head down, like not get bothered by anyone. And it's like a lot of the times she only does end up like reaching out and like kind of like babbling on about her like speculations is because she just gets like really carried away. Like there was a scene I really enjoyed of like her doing all the detective stuff and like figuring why the storehouse like exploded with Lee Haku, where like I want one of those edits. Have you ever seen the edits of like Death Note but like without the monologues and they're just staring at each other or something, or like Scrubs without JD's voice?
But that'd be really good in Apothecary Diaries. It's like, what's she doing?
Yeah.
Oh, she's making a bomb. Oh, it exploded. Like,
yeah, like just like Lee Haku like following is like, hey, don't go in there. Silence for like 5 minutes. Hey, where are you going? Like there's a lot of like really good stuff with that, but then like she ends up just like solving mysteries randomly because she is just like, oh, like I've just noticed this, and like she's just it's like it's a puzzle, so she kind of gets out of her head a little bit because she's like, oh, I just got to solve this puzzle, which is like a really fun trait as well.
Every time she slips up and like mutters something that she's not ready to talk about, and then Jinshi is like, what was that? Like, hold on.
Yeah, no, absolutely. She is very funny. She's a good protagonist to like continually like follow like throughout a series. Like you put her in any situation and like it's gonna be interesting because of like how she's like reading it and stuff. Cool character. I also like the she's in the like, I feel like there's been like a recent, it's almost like a comeback trend of like relatable girls that are not like they're not like
female characters that aren't all about romance, that are the stars of a show or manga.
Yeah, or like I'm more like Gremlin girls or something, or like like or Fail Girls or something, like, because I feel like there was a version of that was like really popular when we were in like high school that was like yeah, I'm messy and like I like feed me peas and touch my butt type of thing, where it's like we're not quite like we're being like quirky but we're still like super sexy type of thing, where it's like more recently I feel like we've just had more and more like female characters that are like, yeah, like I'm like the just like I'm really obsessed with trains, like that kind of vibe, you know what I mean?
I'm gonna go goblin mode about this oxtail, like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, like just, you know, like girls only want one thing, and it's like the like bovine like
it's the bovine pancreas or whatever it is.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or even just like the mushrooms that she collects and like makes with the quack doctor, and she's just like, he's now in on my secret, so we can eat these together. So I can like, I'm all about these mushrooms for a second, or I'm all about this nice tea, and then Jinshi's gonna like bust in and ruin it.
Yeah, no, definitely. So it's I think she is like she fits in really neatly with that, and is like a really good example of that, because she like, yeah, she just has such a weird fixation, but she's just so consistent in it. She never drifts from it. And she can, like, a character like, it's not that it's bad for women to have romances and fall in love or whatever. It's just like,
no, of course not. It's
can have that, and it absolutely doesn't define her. Like, she's such a big character outside of whatever she has going on with Jinshi that it's like, you know, yeah, it's cool.
This is a weird comparison, but I'm gonna go back to Frieren for a second. Something about Frieren that's endearing is that while Frieren is like the most powerful character in that world or whatever, she also is like lazy and oversleeps and is kind of a mess, and like that is like an unexpected character trait that deepens that character by making them more like less one-dimensional. And I think it's a lot of people latch on to like that trait of Frieren, the character, that she is like needs to be babied by like the 17-year-old that she's raising is essentially raising her because she's so unambitious in a different way.
Yeah, no, definitely. No, it's cool.
It's fun.
were there any other? I've like maybe like one other thing I was thinking to talk about, but were there any other stuff you wanted to bring up about this series?
What did you think about when the show finally, like way late into the season 1, decides to actually cover MaoMao's backstory, but then also shift the focus to Lakin and the whole story between her parents, her biological parents, as opposed to Lumen, who is like her adoptive father?
It was interesting at first because like I was getting the vibes of like a Moriarty. It was like presented exactly how Moriarty is in Sherlock Holmes, where
Monocle
like
and
in
all.
basic not the monocle, but the like basically every time they bring up Moriarty in Sherlock Holmes, whether it's like the original series or the way it's done in like the BBC show, it's like we have a bunch of unconnected independent mysteries that work really well on their own, and then all of a sudden it's like actually Moriarty was behind all of these. It's like it's not necessarily really good writing in a lot of ways it's handled, and it's like actually he orchestrated all of these just because he likes crime, because he's kind of like the Joker. But like I think that these ones, like, they made sense. They felt like they were
tying
out,
together
but, like,
the guy getting killed by the salt and the shed exploding and all that. Like, it's not every single one they've ever covered, but there's a few.
Yes.
Like the fires, the sticks that burn in different colored flames. Like some of those are really early. Like that's like the third or fourth episode, and then it's like way later on. It's like there is some kind of conspiracy happening, and maybe Lakin is involved, or maybe he isn't. But also he's Momo's dad, and we got to deal with that.
That's the thing that, like, basically that's the introduction. Like, while it's introducing this, it's also just giving all these ominous shots of him. Like, oh, he's the Moriarty. Oh, he's her father. And then it seems like he's maybe not the Moriarty. And then it's, is that ambiguous, or is he just not, like,
within season 1, I think it's ambiguous until maybe the end, and it seems like he's not. I think they definitely set it up to be like, you think he's going to be the Moriarty, you think he's going to be like the mastermind behind Jinshi's assassination or what have you,
right?
Until she gets hurt, like her leg gets damaged, saving Jinshi, and like they're walking down the stairs, and he looks super stricken and upset. And I think at that point it's like, oh no, his motivation is all about MaoMao. It's not necessarily about whatever this grand conspiracy is.
Totally. Like, it's like he wouldn't have helped. Like, it felt, for a minute, I was like, did he help her because he's like, this was all a test or some bullshit, right. You know what I mean? But it didn't seem like that. It seemed like he legit, and like MaoMao later reflects on it, it's like, yeah, that was a detail I was trying to remember. It's like, yeah, he helps her get in, so it wasn't him. He wasn't the Moriarty.
I also like her, like, I won't even look at this person. Like, in MaoMao, there's one, like, 5-frame moment where Jinshi asks about MaoMao about Lakin for the first time, and she says something along the lines of like, please never speak about that man again, and her face, it's like the most hyper detailed, like, angry look, and Jinshi is like, it looks like he got punched. He's like really scared of her, and it's a fun aspect of her character because she rarely has it. She rarely like lets her anger out, but when she does, it's always very intense and dramatic. Like with the white powder is like the early example, but then with Lakin, she is like so angry all the time.
Yeah, and it's like interesting because she has a little bit of that, like, I'm so logical, I don't have emotions side of it. Not fully, but she, like, I don't think she's completely ignorant to her emotions about her father, but she is just like who even cares about that kind of thing?
Right.
like just while she's like crushing like whatever's in her hand, it's a nothing kind of vibe. Yeah, no, that's really good. Yeah, and then you get to the drinking game. Very interesting way to be undone.
The solution is so simple. It's just he doesn't drink, and MaoMao is like able to like pound alcohol.
It's like,
but
it's
also
so
use the threat of her being poisoned, right? Like it's fun.
Yeah, no, it's this weird like 4D chess thing that she does. That's like there's so many bells and whistles to the game, and it's like, oh, that was the trick, and you're like, right. Oh, but it needed to be like that to distract him because he's like a little mathematical analytical. He's like, what's your game, MaoMao? You know, It's really funny. It's also interesting, like her relationship to her mother, like that also kind of came out of nowhere was like really interesting. Like the she has some line. I'm really bad at remembering details from this series because it was a lot of episodes, but the something about like like she her love or sentiment or something, like it's like her weakness or something like that, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, like that's
why Mao Mao
she's the
doesn't
way
want to
she
have
is
love, want to be in love.
with Jinshi. Yeah, it's like, oh, like that is like kind of a defining thing for her. She's like, I'm not weak, and I'm not gonna like let love that's outside of my station like ruin my whole life or whatever.
Right.
And she
her
really
origin story is someone trying to have like put romance above stature, and it making everyone's lives fall apart.
yeah, absolutely, and it being responsible for her coming into the world and her life being the way it was, and all this stuff, and then yeah, it's like she's like, I'm not gonna do that, and it also explains like how like why she looks so down on people like Lee Haku or whatever that are like, you know, hopeless romantics. She's just like, yeah, you pathetic little worms. Like it's like, you know,
right.
It's fun.
I told you before we were recording that there is a scene in Apothecary Diaries, a show that for the most part I found like a very pleasant, even keel watching experience, like just a solid 8 throughout. Like this is a good show, I'm enjoying it, but I'm not like wowed by it. There was just one detail that like rocked me and I thought was super sweet and emotional, and it made me want to cry, and it made me tear up a little bit when I was watching. The Lacken episode is it takes a long time. It goes forever of it, like walking around with all these people who look like go characters or like chess pieces or what have you. And I think it's a really cool visual, and I like it, and I like that he is like the analytical side of MaoMao, whereas Lumen is more of like the like socially conscious version of MaoMao, right? Like more like altruistic. When he goes to her mother, and he doesn't not just only does he not see her as a, you know, go pieces, which was established with like their backstory, but he doesn't even see the syphilis scars. I thought that was really sweet, and it was like it caught me off guard, and it was really beautiful. And for a character that I am not like obsessed with or crazy about, like it's like an interesting little wrinkle to MaoMao's greater story. I thought that moment was like unbelievably beautiful and sweet and well written, and Apothecary Diaries is a good show. It was just really sweet.
Yeah, no, it is. It's very emotional. Like I didn't expect to be like hit with like any of that stuff. Like it really just, but it is really cool and satisfying and like clearly thought out. Like it was not like something of like, so what else can we do? Let's give my mom. Like it's really cool.
Well, the way the whole show framed, like from a visual like execution of ideas aspect of the anime, like staging and whatnot.
Yeah,
they hide her face constantly, but you know it's like super scarred with syphilis. And the way they shoot it, like he's talking to her and he puts the go pieces in her hand, and the lady who runs the house is freaking out. And you're the whole time you're like, well, I know what the twist is. He's gonna buy her as opposed to like one of the younger ladies or what have you, like MaoMao's sisters. That's whatever, you know. I know what the twist is, but then the twist being that the perspective, like the whole episode's been about perspective and about how he sees people, and him throwing away all of his analytical, like people are just pieces on a board bullshit, to be like, this person's beautiful, and it's like. A guy who's so objective is suddenly shown to be like the most subjective person ever, and it's for love, you know. It's just I like it.
Yeah, I'm. That's like the one thing that I'm like, I need to see that from MaoMao. Like I need to see her get there, because that's clearly the trajectory. Like you just want her to like, you know, to
I wanted to make a decision
to
for
stop
her
the airplane
just once. Yeah.
To stop the airplane as to make a pluribus reference. I think that's what I need.
I need her running through a terminal like, no, I'm gonna throw it all away for love or what have you.
We do kind of get it when she's like doing it to like save Jinshi from the like his death or whatever. But I guess it doesn't quite hit the same because she doesn't know that it's Jinshi.
Well, there's also...
But, yeah.
Let's talk about Jinshi for a second, okay?
Okay.
Who is Jinshi? What's his role?
To be fab.
No, this is the test. In the politics of Apothecary Diaries, who is he? Mallory, this is going to be on the test.
He's gorgeous. I don't really
Not
know what
appearances. So, in the show,
elegant.
in the show, everyone thinks he's like the Grand Eunuch or whatever.
Right.
But he's clearly more than that. Because he's doing the ceremony or whatever. And he wears a lot of, like, clothing that implies that he's part of the Empire's family. And the Emperor has a brother who never shows up and who's hidden away.
I got confused at the part with Lady Ado, who for some reason is the only lady's name I remember, even though she's in it for the least.
The least.
Because her introduction is her departure. Like,
I don't think I'm spoiling anything for you to say this, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Jinshi is either one of two things.
Okay.
He is either the second son of the last empress and the pedophile emperor, so that'd make him the prince. He'd be the prince to the empire and the emperor's younger brother, the imperial prince. That the people in the know in the palace seem to think that's who he is. The people who don't know that he's pretending to be, or who aren't fooled by the ruse that he's the Grand Eunuch or whatever. And he's doing that to, suss out problems for the emperor. If the babies were switched in the Aldo,
Yeah.
in that scenario, he wouldn't be the prince's brother or the emperor's brother. He'd be the emperor's son. He would be the emperor and Otto's first child, who lived when they thought that the child died.
Okay.
Which would make him the heir to the empire, but I don't think that's ever going to go there because, or maybe it will way, way, way farther in the future. But like that, that's what that wrinkle is that his mother might not be the empress or the previous empress. It might be her. And so that's what it is.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense because I was like, I picked up on the brother potentiality thing, and I didn't get, like, why isn't she just calling him the Emperor's brother in her head? Like, not, but it's like the case is uncracked, and I didn't fully understand the baby switching thing. So it's basically like theoretic, like either the father or son had a child with Lady Ado. Is that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
well, no,
like
it's the pedophile emperor and the empress had a child, and Ado and the current emperor had a child, and one of them died. But there was maybe baby switching happening. So
yeah, but the fact that
either the current emperor's first son died, or is Jinshi.
And because he like looks a lot like Lady Ado, and they're both trans, I guess,
icons. Yes.
when like MaoMao's like they should just switch clothes, I was like, yeah. Like because of and that's like that shows that they're related. It's like implied, I guess, that he would be her son, so that would make him the son of the emperor. So that would make him the heir
that would
to
make
it.
him the son of the emperor. But it's not clear how much of that the emperor realizes and how much of it Jinshi realizes. Like, he seems to have come to that realization when she's being removed from the palace or what have you. Like, they have that conversation, he's crying, and he runs into MaoMao. For all intents and purposes, he, at least right now, seems to be like, I'm going to act as the emperor's brother. And then that role is to be the head eunuch, pretend to be the head eunuch, maybe. And, serve him as a brother as opposed to as a son.
Right. And because, like, being the brother, he wouldn't inherit the empire because the emperor has, like, at least one other child, which is Gyokyo's baby. Is that's
Well,
just,
she's a girl, so no, bad. No women,
Oh.
no women rule.
I forget about
He's
Sexism.
trying to have a prince, and Li Hua birthed him a prince, but then the prince died. Gyokyo birthed him a princess, and that means that she's still favorable with him because she can have kids, but he doesn't have a prince yet.
Gotcha. Okay. Huh. I see. Okay.
And all that's happening in the background. What I brought all of that up just to mention that I think it's a really interesting character trait of MaoMao that she walks right up to the conclusion and then refuses to engage with it. And I think it's another part of her not wanting to think of Jinchi as a potential partner for her. Like, she wants to keep him in this eunuch identity, even though if he's the emperor's brother, he might not be a eunuch. I think that's like a character, like an intentional character trait of hers, that she's being like obstinate about this revelation.
Right.
The character who can always figure things out is not figuring out one of the more obvious secrets that she's engaged with.
Totally. Yeah, no, it's really good character writing, and I think like as well as because like where that comes in the series, I think I just hadn't fully picked up all the nuances of MaoMao by that point. That it made it maybe that's also probably like why it was a little hard for me to parse. But yeah, no, like it makes sense. It's like yeah, like the things that she's in denial about or uncomfortable with, or like I guess I didn't quite understand her feelings to Jinchi yet at that point in the way that I do now.
I think they've also deepened over time,
yeah,
and I think that like
definitely
as they deepen and as she gets more and more hints that he's more than what he seems, and she ignores them, it becomes more obvious that it's a character trait as opposed to like a plot, as opposed to like plot brain, which we talked about a lot last week with Has-Been Hotel.
Yeah. Yeah, it's you can really do a lot with writing, and yeah. I think that it's interesting and cool. I think that I just I don't know. For me personally, I would love if he is the emperor's son, and that somehow she goes from like peasant to empress. Like that feels like a good.
I could see
conclusion
that
to the
happening. I've been holding back on a piece of information that's very upsetting to me about this series.
Oh yeah.
So it's 48 episodes long right now, right? I learned that it is only like 25 to 30% of the way through the story by the time it gets to episode 48. And I'm like, I'm going to be, and it's also, I don't think the light novels are done. So it's like, I'm going to be watching this show until I'm fucking 40 at this point.
It's just Game of Thrones, but set in
I
Imperial
know!
China. That's crazy.
So if Empress MaoMao is endgame, which I don't think is the case, but we'll see.
Oh man, they're gonna play Daenerys Part 2. They're gonna be like set us up for Empress MaoMao, and then just be like, just kidding, women can't get what they want.
And once MaoMao becomes the emperor, she kills all the eunuchs or something. I don't know.
Yeah, her dragon eats the Verdigris house and kills the old lady. Diva of the Evening, the old lady who's really selfish and horrible. I have my type. This is my favorite characters in every show.
You don't love the quack doctor who's useless, but MaoMao can't even see herself replacing him. I love him.
He's an absolute queer icon to me. I don't care what he is. He's my
soft boy eunuch with
he really
Fu Manchu.
is. Yeah, he's just like me and my 16-year-old adopted daughter are gonna just eat sweets all day.
There are so many moments where, like, I think I know where the show's going. I think it's going to go in the obvious direction. Like, he seems like he's being set up as, like, an easy, like, early season villain. And then they just hard cut to, like, didn't expect this to happen, but we're now, like, homies.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like, because I was like, oh, this is going to be kind of obnoxious. It's going to be like, I like science. I believe in, like, mysticism.
Tradition. Right.
Right, it's like you know, and then like when it comes to the actual like medicine stuff, he pretty much just listens through the whole time because he doesn't know what is going on at all.
There's a little twist with that in season 2 that I am excited for you to get to one day.
Yeah,
about
totally.
like why he's the doctor of the palace, and it's fun.
Well, they introduced the detail about like his family's like paper. That was like a little mini mystery for Kid Detective MaoMao to solve with like his why is the paper quality like not going well? And like the cow's saliva is like dripping on paper or whatever. I don't like. I'm in his shoes, and then I'm like, yeah, I trust you, bestie. Like, if she's trying to lead into the conclusion, he's just like,
I believe it's the cow's like. The air is very saturated with cow spit because of all the cows they bring in.
Yeah, it's insane stuff. But yeah, like that cow saliva is a factor in paper production is completely wild. But he explained a little bit in that of like why, like it was like his sister. He went there because his younger sister is going to be sold off, and something bad happens to his older sister. I forget what.
Well, so like that's why he became a eunuch, but I more so mean like why he's the doctor at the palace.
Oh, interesting. Okay,
but I will keep quiet about that.
Yeah, there are wrinkles to this show.
There are wrinkles.
You have convinced me. Like I don't know what you've apothecary. You've
you want to try that again?
Apocalypsed me. You've apothecary to me. No, okay.
I've apothecary inceptioned you. What are you trying to say?
You've apostrophed me into fully buying into this show throughout it, where it's like you didn't make one single salient point that was like, this is the reason why you should like fall in love with this series. It's just a bunch of little details and like explaining like some of the subtler nuances that me being like fucking like watching it is.
Well,
like,
I have good news for you.
Yeah.
Season 2, way more MaoMao Jinshi focused.
Ooh.
Way less subtle, which from what I've seen, people like season 2 more. I like season 1 more. But there's a lot of cool stuff going on in season 2 that I really enjoy. There's some really cool characters that you haven't met yet. And yeah, it's fun. We'll cover it one day, I'm sure. Or you can watch on your own. Up to you.
But yeah, no, I mean, you've sold me. It's death by 1,000 cuts. You have sold me in like caring about this series and being interested in it, which is
and
good.
This cool detail, and this cool detail, and this character trait, and this
exactly. Yeah, no. I'm in, and I'm gonna learn how to say the title. I kept calling it. I'm realizing now. I was talking to like one of our other friends about the series like a little bit like as I was watching it, and I kept calling it by the Japanese title, and I was kind of like, am I being like, is the pretentiousness finally hitting where it's like, oh, I only refer to it by the Japanese title because I know how to speak
What
Japanese.
Is the Japanese title?
It's like Kusuriya no Hitorigoto, which is and the reason why I'm saying the Japanese title is because I cannot say the English title. That's why.
It's apothecary
what? Apothecary's
log or something?
Stuff that she says to herself, kind of like I'm sure that can be like and translated as like diaries or like log or memo or whatever, but it's like hitorigoto is like what is that you're talking to yourself, like you're just kind of aloud, like you're muttering, like it's like
inner
what
monologue?
Deku does in it's what Deku does in Hero Academia, where he's just being like, and this part
mutter.
Like you're there's probably a better word for it, but yeah, like talking to yourself, like these are the
musings.
Words that musings, yeah, like these are the words that the apothecary is saying. Where I'm sure there's like a clean definition that's just escaping me right now, but yeah, I'm always calling it that because yeah, there's like
you can't say apothecary.
Can't say apothecary. There you go, apothecary.
There you go.
The and Carrie, like Carrie Fisher. And that's
Mallory, my stomach's rumbling. I'm really hungry. What are you gonna rank Apothecary Diaries so I can go eat some oxtail?
I am gonna put it in. You're really talking your way out of the good. I didn't even. You know what's sad? I don't even remember what the mid tier is called because I use it so infrequently.
There's cute is like C, and then there's B, and then there's or is cute B?
Yeah, it's cute. Cute is C, and then deluxe is B, which is not confusing at all.
What's after deluxe? No, but that has to be S. So then deluxe is A, and then cute is B. So,
cute is B. Wow.
Yeah.
Good tier system, Mallory. So yeah, it's really on the borderline cute of deluxe. You're really making the case for deluxe. Here's the thing, though. We're gonna re-tier these very shortly
soon.
From now.
Yeah. You want to talk about that for a minute?
Yeah. I should tier it first, though, shouldn't I? I'll take. Okay, with the re-tiering, we've been discussing this. We've been vaguely alluding to this. If you've seen any of our other episodes before,
we're making OVAs. We're gonna do some special episodes in December that may release in January for some of them. We're re-tiering our tier lists. We're doing a special episode where we pitch long media to each other. That will be a thing for season 2 of the podcast, year 2. I call it season 2 because that's fun and quirky. But anyway. I hope we're in the tier screen for this entire conversation. I see why you're now worried about it. Yeah, no, we are. Yeah, so this is going to screw up everything. But yeah, we're going to do some specials. It's going to be fun. In addition, we're going to right the wrongs that we've done throughout the year. Mallory's bringing Stop Making Sense up to sale tier. I'm bringing What Happens Next up like a tier and a half. We're going to figure things out.
Yeah, so I get to have a referendum on this one extremely soon, which is nice. I think I'm gonna put it in cute for now, and then we'll see if it's really bad. I think it's just truly the experience while watching it. I think it was just bogged down by the art a little bit, and I think if I was I feel like if I was reading it, then I'd be like, oh my god, this is great. You know what I mean? It's almost like, I don't want to say distractingly bad. That sounds so mean, but you know what? It's a huge part of the
It's average.
experience.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Well, good news, Mallory. This is yet another anime that's getting a movie treatment. So.
Oh wow.
We'll see what's up with that later.
Yeah, no, that's gonna take an eternity series. That's never gonna be finished.
Yep.
Welcome to Naruto Part 2.
Apothecary Diaries Shippuden, the next generation.
This is when Jinshi betrays the clan, and we have to get him back.
MaoMao, I must become stronger so I can defeat the Emperor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hit me. What am I watching? What are we doing?
Sam, the holidays are around the corner, and as we mentioned, we're going to be doing some new season, some OVAs, some fun little side episodes. So we really only get one shot at having any sort of Christmas episode. You know what I mean?
Opportunity.
There's only one shot. So this week I've decided to pitch a series that I've wanted to talk to anyone about for a long time that has seen it. It is a Netflix original series called Baby Reindeer. Have you heard anything of this series, Sam?
I have. Is it Christmas related just because of the word reindeer?
Absolutely. That's the only connection. It's not Christmas related in the slightest. That was the fun joke. It's just depressing and about
parasocial relationships, right? Or stalking?
I would say stalking and sexual assault and that kind of thing is the real kind of centerpiece. So, just really try to get in the holiday spirit.
It's beginning to sound a lot like Christmas. So you're saying this is more in the Baby It's Cold Outside Christmas verse as opposed to the Frosty the Snowman Christmas verse.
Oh my god. It's the Fairy Tale of New York Christmas. Do you know that song, Fairy Tale of New York? It's my favorite Christmas song where it's just a depressing story about these people who moved to America to try and pursue their dreams, and it failed completely, and they're getting drunkenly and angrily divorced, and it plays on British TV all the time in Christmas. And it's just you're a drunk, you're a maggot, you're a it's He's like, "Merry Christmas, you asshole!" So yeah, that's like, to me, that's like what Christmas is about. It's just like the bear episode where they're yelling at each other about 12 fishes. Like that is my Christmas thing. So this feels like appropriate, you know.
So we're bringing cheer and happiness to December.
Absolutely.
I'm here for it. Alrighty.
Yes.
Well, until next time.
Damn it.
I beat you to it by starting after you.
You do. Come on.
Nope.
Just go.
No, now it's a war. You know?
We want to end the podcast. I want to end the Let me out.
No, I refuse. I have trapped you in an elaborate game of 50 episodes of a podcast.
Well, Sam,
Mallory,
I hope that you have a great day.
What the fuck? Cut. We're done.
I'm recording, but I realize I have like a little point right in the center of my head, and it's not gonna go down. There's no save.
That's not. Yeah, you're done. You're doomed. Doomed forever.
This is the end of my fucking career. All
yeah,
right,
I know
well,
that they're gonna cancel you.
Hopefully, no one looks at me.
That's how I feel every episode. You know. I hope no one looks at me. You should leave all that in.